At this point in my life, I only know 5 things. Actually, I know more than 5 things, but there are 5 things that I live by. And it all started with a bucket list. You see, I just graduated high school, and I was so happy. I was happy because I had just graduated. I was happy because I had a scholarship to a great university. But the main reason I was happy was because I just made the U19 national rugby team. And for me, this was my biggest dream. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed. And as we were training for the World Cup in France, I started worrying about my field goals. I thought, what if I miss an easy kick right in front of the goalposts? What if I ruin this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Now these worries would creep into my mind at night in the form of anxiety. And this anxiety caused me to lose sleep. And all of this caused me to slide into a depression. I dropped out of university, and I got dropped from the rugby team. I became a shut-in in my parents' house, unable to leave. Now these feelings lasted for months until my friends insisted that I join them to live and work in a new town for the summer. Not only then did I start to feel like I was coming out of my fog. I got a job, and I started talking about how I was really feeling for the first time. I also met inspiring young people that were starting their own businesses and traveling the world. And after that summer, I made a decision to only surround myself with people that inspired me. I didn't know it then, but that one small decision would completely change the rest of my life. So when I got home, I thought about which of my friends were inspiring. And one kid came to mind. His name was Johnny. I said, Johnny, let's make a movie. And he liked the idea, and we brought Johnny's friend Dave and Johnny's older brother Duncan into our amateur movie mission. And around this time, Johnny was sitting in first-year English class, much like the one you sat in, and his teacher assigned him a 150-year-old poem called The Buried Life. And something in that poem struck Johnny, and he came back to the 4 of us excitedly and made us read 4 lines of that poem. But often in the world's most crowded streets, but often in the din of strife, there rises an unspeakable desire after the knowledge of our buried life. This poem articulated our feelings perfectly. There were so many things that we wanted to do, but we hadn't done them because they were buried. We were buried by work, by school, by life, and we had moments of inspiration, but eventually those became buried by the day-to-day. So right then and there, we decided to call this film The Buried Life. And then we thought, how do we unbury these dreams? And we decided to ask this question, what do you want to do before you die? Because oddly enough, the thought of death was the only thing that shook us enough into the present moment to actually realize what was truly important, right? To actually digest our mortality. And then the answer to that question, well, there were many of them. And thus, the list was born. But this was kind of the most epic bucket list of all time because we made 2 rules when we made this list. Number 1, you had to pretend you had $100 million in your bank account. And also, when you wrote the list, you had to pretend that you could do anything, right? It's fitting for the theme. If you could do anything, what would you do? And we thought, you know what? We gotta keep doing this, right? The 2-week road trip had come to an end. We came back home to Victoria, BC, and we checked this email inbox that we had created for The Buried Life. We had hundreds of emails from people from around the world that had seen our list on our website and that said, hey, number 9, ride a bull. My uncle owns a bull ranch. He can get you on a bull. And then on the flip side, people sending us their dreams, saying things like, before I die, I want to fly a fighter jet. Or I've always wanted to sing a duet with Michael Bublé. I got a hashtag from Twitter. It said Hand for Tori. It was a group of friends that started a hashtag for their friend Tori, who was born with 1 hand. And her biggest dream was to have a bionic hand, a robotic hand. Now, bionic hands are very expensive. The physical therapy is very expensive. But this group of friends thought maybe we can at least raise some awareness to try and make our friend Tori's dream come true. Now, I mentioned the ripple effect that comes from doing what you love. Well, there's also a ripple effect that comes from helping others. Because you don't just help that one person. You help the people around them, their friends, their family. And sometimes you help every single person that comes into contact with them moving forward. Now, oddly enough, it's not these big list items that mean the most. I was flying back to LA and the flight attendant came up to me and passed me a note. She said, this is from a girl that's sitting at the back of the plane. I want to share what the note says. I dropped out of college a few months ago because of depression. I've watched every episode of The Buried Life, and honestly, it's helped me get my life back on track. I just got into UCLA, which is why I'm here. Thank you. To this day, I don't know who wrote this note, but it means a lot to me because effectively it's my story. And this is a very common story right now in this country, right? And this is a conversation that affects all of us because if 1 in 4 people in the country struggle with mental illness, we all care about more than 4 people. It affects us either directly or indirectly. So what we can do about this as leaders is break the stigma around mental health by having these productive, healthy conversations, right? Because who you truly are is exactly who you need to be. And there's 2 sides of that coin. There's who you truly are and going after your passions and your bucket list, and who you truly are with the things that you are struggling with, because you find that those things that you think are your weaknesses and your struggles can actually be your strengths. So as I look back over the last 10 years, there's something that I didn't realize that I now know, and it's abundantly clear, and that's simply this. By doing what you love, you inspire other people to do what they love. And that ripple effect goes far beyond what you'll ever know. Isn't a bucket list a little bit selfish, right? To prioritize your personal goals? That's what I thought. Now I realize I wasn't just wrong, I had it backwards. A bucket list is essential for so many reasons, right? It's important for your own health and wellness, your own mental health, your happiness, to be fulfilling the things that are important to you. It's also important for those around you, because you can't take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself. It's important for your career, because there's no work-life balance anymore, right? Our phones are coming home with us, our computers are coming home with us, so it must be work-life harmony. And what work-life harmony means is that you're getting energy from work and you're getting energy from home. And one way to get energy from home is by fulfilling the things that are truly important to you. See, I believe this is the new leadership. By putting yourself first, you put yourself in the position to serve others. It's not selfish, it's service. Because when you're doing the things that you truly want, it makes you feel more alive. It gives you more energy. You can deploy that energy in any way that you wish. Now, it's also important for your organization, right? Because an organization is only as effective as the people are effective. And most importantly, it's vital for your legacy. The single biggest regret that people have at the end of their life is not regretting the things they did. It's regretting the things they didn't do.